Hello! Welcome to Season 4 of the K7 League. I'm a cornmeal with myself as Shifty HJP. And it is finally time to start off a brand new season. We're back, we're live. K7 is here. And Shifty, well, it's the first time that you and I have been able to get a cast together, and I don't know how long, but it is such a welcome feeling to finally have this feeling back again to work with Hunter Pendycraft. I'm excited!
Yes, my energy maybe not as high as Alex is over here, but I am extremely excited not only to be able to work alongside Alex and the rest of the great casting crew here at K7, but also the amazing staff. And shout out to Trix for wading through the difficulties of getting this stream up and running and doing such a great job at it. And thanks to all of you for watching and patiently waiting for us here for season 4, as now it's go time, baby. It is go time. I'm super excited. We've been waiting almost a year for season 4, and it is finally here.
As we said beforehand, we were working on a few kinks in the background on our audio and, of course, the entire broadcast side of things. But as we look at our match ahead, if you weren't too sure by either looking at the graphic or taking a look at the YouTube screen, it is Pulsive NA versus cTc Gold. This is the 8th and 11th ranked pre-power rankings for the preseason team. So if you're looking into that, well, I don't necessarily hold that much depth because I don't really trust the K7 team behind everything. Come on now. We don't really trust their opinions on different things, do we? Because I certainly don't. But 8th ranked cTc Gold in the preseason power rankings going up against Pulsive NA. We'll take a look at our maps and modes now, starting out with Gavutu for map number 1 on our hardpoint. We'll go to Bokaj, Search and Destroy, and then we'll go ahead to Tuscan for map 3. Now, if you're wondering why you see 3 hardpoints on your screen when Control was just played this past weekend inside of the CDL kickoff, don't worry. The problem is with Control is right now there still are a few issues that we have to work out. This is a different build that they played on the LAN comparatively to what we have now. So hardpoint is going to be map number 3 until next week when we will have Control fixed and ready to go. So we'll be all good on that front. But again, just to go ahead and at least simulate what we have for a map number 3 respawn, hardpoint will be there instead of it being, 3 search and destroys.
I'm actually kind of excited. I really enjoy hardpoint in this game, so I think the flow is very quick. It's a very fast-paced game, just like pretty much the last 2 Call of Duties, in my opinion, when it comes to hardpoint. So I really enjoy it. So being able to see it 3 times over the course of a best-of-5 series, I think is going to be a whole lot of fun. And now, again, like you said, 8 versus 11 seed matchup here. So potentially some maybe future playoff contenders here, maybe on that bottom of the barrel, that bottom top 8 scraping by, maybe trying to tooth and nail their way into that. Speaking of that, let's look at our number 11 seed here tonight. That's going to be Pulsive NA. We've got the roster coming up here. We've got Woo, Evan C 887, Zorfi, and Demonic Snaps, and I'm excited to see them play. We've seen Woo and Evan I believe last season as well. So it'll be good to see them sort of find their way here through Vanguard and see if they can bring the energy tonight.
Yeah, maybe not necessarily inside of K7, but overall, Evan and Woo playing together last season inside of Cold War, coming over as a collective duo inside of a new game. Always something to go ahead and talk about storyline-wise, knowing, of course, that playing together with a specific person can definitely engage you a lot more in the next upcoming year instead of having to find a brand new team and find new players to mesh with. Now, that being said, on the opposite side for cTc Gold, you have Zimothy, who returns to the cTc Gold roster. Unfortunately, though, will not be playing with the same team. You got Viri, you got Keprin, you got Dyer, who join alongside of Zimothy to go ahead and be that 8th ranked preseason power ranking team inside of the season 4 of K7, but at the exact same time, we don't know what these 2 teams are going to bring to the table. We don't know exactly which team will outperform the other. We don't know necessarily what's going to be the strongest modes for either of these teams, whether it be hardpoint, whether it be search and destroy. And at the same time, we also don't know if when Control comes around, if these teams are going to use that as a swing mode or as a crutch mode to be able to carry themselves not only with momentum throughout the rest of the season, but every single series, now having that extra game mode in there, which we haven't seen all year long. It's definitely going to shake up a lot of things, and we are going to see teams that are going to be heavily favored by that decision to bring Control back in, finally. And we're also going to see teams that are going to be negatively affected by it because they might just be really good at hardpoint and then can, win the series 3-2 without having to win S&Ds and whatnot.
Well, and I mean, you and I both know that across all Call of Duties, I think every team sort of has a niche that they find, a sort of game mode and map set that they're really good at. And right now, really and truly, I think we're going to miss out on a pivotal part of that with Control not being included in the first week. But you got to do what you got to do for the league. And I honestly think that with the state Control was in, even though they did play it this past week at the kickoff, I think, being able to move forward and go with all hard points, while it wasn't a popular decision with some, I think was the better choice for now. I think both teams, are familiar with hard point and then not having to deal with the consistent game breaking problems that Control was having. So I think while it's going to create an interesting dynamic for this week to see maybe the hard point heavy teams come out and just slug, I think that will change as the season goes on, and these teams aren't going to be able to get comfortable with just their hard point, as we are going to be throwing that third mode back in the mix. But I do think that, again, it comes down to hard points. It comes down to search and destroys. It comes down to who is going to be the straighter shooting team, rather, and the better set up squad. And I think those hard points here are going to be able to showcase that. I'm really excited to see what both of these teams are going to come out with, especially teams that, like you said, maybe you don't take the K7 staff very seriously in their opinions. I don't know if I do either, but at least where they are stacked during the preseason, I think this has the makings of a real old-time slobber knocker, and we may potentially see 5 maps here, and if we do, I would love that for the Season 4 kickoff.
I was gonna say, we talk about great series all the time, and of course, what it would mean to start off a series with a bang. It can kind of be almost predictive of what we might see throughout the entirety of the K7 season. Either way, though, starting out with map number 1 in Gavutu Hardpoint, you talk about 2 brand new teams coming into K7 for the first time. New organizations always mean a brand new chance to spout and maybe even scout out new players who are going to be at the top of their game, or even are just going to be moving around either towards the late of the season or even at the beginning of the season. You could potentially be seeing roster changes not only from week 1 into week 2, but players that might perform really well in a specific team get an opportunity with a team that either might be a little bit better, maybe be a little bit worse. But of course, seeing a team stay together throughout the entire season is always something we look to see, we hope to see. But as we go ahead and hop into game number 1, Hardpoint, Gavutu. This map, it could be a little bit, I guess, comparatively to where the hills are set up, you can almost compare this map to Raid because of the rotations you have to make back and forth across the map. A lot of gunfights will be controlled in middle map, and of course, getting all the way up and towards the top of that P2 ship is going to be so crucial to being able to hold out multiple lanes. But as we go ahead, kick things off here, Pulsive NA on the left, cTc Gold on the right. Keprin on screen now for the first engagement over towards the right side of your screen. Unfortunately, won't be able to find anything except the life of death in front of you. 15 seconds ticked off the first hard point. You've got the set of Pulsive NA on the board first.
Holy cow, and an almost all red kill feed there. Pulsive starting off on a strong foot. Blue taking 2 more of his own. Now Keprin, the only person over the course of the first 30 seconds to get a kill for cTc, and he does it in duos as he tries to make it 3, will do it, and now single-handedly locking down this P1 hardpoint, now ticking 10+ seconds consecutively here for the side of cTc. But again, you and I both know this first hardpoint on all Call of Duties can always be scrappy. As we hit that 20 to 15 second mark, we're going to want to see these rotations come in, and that is exactly what we're seeing both teams coerce towards now.
Scrappy to start out the game, about dead even as we rotate over towards point number 2. Demonic setting up with the rest of the teammates on Pulsive to go ahead and cut off the rest of the players from the middle of the map of cTc. We're trying to push up. They trade 2 for 2 back and forth. As Dyer goes ahead, runs through the building. Should be able to get in towards the point for a touch, but Rue from the top, Zorify down below is going to be enough at least to hold on for the time. However, a great team collapse from cTc should give them the time for now. It's been a very, very close hard point back and forth, as I said beforehand, but the thing is, Shifty, that I've been at least happy about seeing this early in the game is that either of these teams have the ability to rotate and break. We've only been through 2 hard points.
Well, but I mean, that initial rotation to P2 can be so pivotal, especially starting off the game on the right foot. And you're right, we saw Pulsive get the early rotation into P2, cTc break it, and then hold it for about 30 consecutive seconds there. So a really solid P2. Now, can they take that momentum into P3 as, again, cTc this time looking to be in position to rotate, but Pulsive on the hand of Demonic, going to cut that down. He's playing this oh-so pivotal anchor role here with his automaton in the back, and we'll be able to pick up one alongside Wu and Evan taking kills of their own. And honestly, Keprin here, though, he's on a 6-kill streak. He's really been the haymaker here for cTc. You want to see the rest of them sort of bring up those slaying numbers and play a little bit more cohesively as we'll rotate through the rest of these hard points.
It's unfortunate, too. You invest the streak there. It doesn't get anything in terms of kills. No information gathered either. The only thing that you waste is utility to use later on inside of the game. And of course, as you fall middle map, the teammates aren't there to go ahead and play off that streak either. So a good 40 seconds of time already for Pulsive here on this hard point with 15 seconds of time left. P3 very, very difficult to break, specifically where the spawns are on the map. And of course, where you're going to be able to play that hill if you are a main AR. And as you look to Dire now, all the way in towards the back of the spawn, Zorify is going to be there as well. cTc with the early rotations over towards point 4. Pulsive, again, a difficult hill to break. Will they be able to do it this time, or are we essentially going to be handshaking 6?
Well, honestly, at this point, the cTc looking like they had the point locked down, but 2 big entry kills coming out from the side of Pulsive. As now we're seeing Demonic drop this streak. Will we be able to get anything with it? No, back-to-back wasted streaks, one from cTc and one from Pulsive, but I don't mind that streak usage there from Demonic. It gets them up and clears that area out for the map, but will not matter. A full 4 wipe rather for cTc in favor of the orange team on your right side, is now they're taking some time of their own.
Try to break in. Fortunately, does not work for you. Use the latter half of the hill. Sure, you can try to break for 20 seconds of time here, which, albeit, would be a decent push. The thing is, though, is you don't want to give up the map position that you have over towards the right side of your screen. Player number 4 going to back off. Player number 2 going to be rotated already on out. Wu should be the first one to pick up the time here in point number 5. We'll go back after this 60 seconds over towards the flat gun, but for now, we reside in the bottom right corner of the minimap. Zorify looking to go ahead and push out a couple of players making their way up the map. Dire, Veery, and Zimothy all go for one on their own. As 15 seconds have ticked off the clock here on point number 5, we got a 13-point game that's closing the gap ever so slightly every single second. From the boat, here comes the push. cTc in towards the point. Evan and Zorify, though, they shut down the push instantaneously.
Yeah, really solid counter kills there from Pulsive. Is now Veery going to be the player to watch, as he will sneak in behind 2 players of Pulsive and lock down at least that area, but will not be able to make anything happen out of it, as Demonic is trying to go huge and was able to pick up 2, but the third just eluding him there. Zimothy going to be too strong. However, again, another swap. We're seeing a very pinstripe kill feed here. Is 10 seconds left in this P5 before we rotate and reset rotations here. A very, very close set of hard points here, both trading back and forth for what seems like the entirety of this game so far.
Been a fun first 5 hard points here, but we're back to point number 1, 60 seconds. A ton of time to go ahead and capitalize upon here. Zorify will pick up the second in the way of Automaton. As you look back to the middle of the map, here comes the push. 6, 7, and 8 all together. Keprin across the map trying to make something work on top of the ship. I told you how powerful these top positions can be on the map. Wu doesn't know exactly where the player is, but will come up from behind. That's going to be good enough for a glide bomb. You look back to the spawn side. Dire's going to be the next one up to challenge. It's going to be a difficult gunfight to win, and of course, you won't be able to take it there against the man on a mission. Fortunately, though, as Wu will fall, the streak will end, but the full streaks are there, and Pulsive have gotten a great deal of time already here on the first hard point in our second set of rotations. 40 seconds off, 20 seconds left until we're over by the bottom in the ship. But you look at the score, 157 to 105. Sure, you might get a good bit of scrap time here, but this is the largest lead we've seen all game.
Yeah, that was definitely a humongous hill for them for the P1 and the second rotation. I mean, being able to attain about 50 straight seconds there, honestly, that's a great hold, as cTc really just fighting for scrap time there. However, going to win the rotation over to P2, so let's see if they can string something together here. Veery going to be on your screen. He's got 4 players, all 4 of them from Pulsive, sliding out towards the broken room, and we'll be able to pick up 1 as Wu and Demonic take 2, as Veery nice shots onto the head glitch, and Wu really the last one to make a play. You're gonna run out of ammo, not gonna be able to make anything happen. What a great trade back for cTc after only attaining about 15 seconds off that P1 for the second rotation, being able to attain another straight 30 here.
You know, the initial point that we brought up was how scrappy hard points can be when we're over towards the first point, but I guess we didn't give it the due credit it deserves when talking about the ability to hold down an entire point, force your opponents across the map, even though the spawns are basically going to be parallel to the point, and it's very symmetrical out over towards the beach. Either way, though, back to a game that's just about 13 points separating each other. The last 5 seconds won't go to anybody here, as everybody's just focused on the rotations over towards the beach. And trying to hold down the beach, as we said beforehand, can be very, very difficult to do, but at the same time can be extremely easy. The team that tries to break is not always going to be able to be awarded, but this time the streak is going to be called in. 2 players scrambling back from the hill. You're going to try and get them out of the time first, and then can try to contain and corral the rest of the point. But player number 6 in middle map, Dire, needs to start making this push up, because if you don't invade those spawns, and you're not able to go ahead and influence the map in the way that you want to, they're just going to keep being able to hit close and close and close over and over and over again. Finally, you've been able to break on in, but you still got 2 players who are going to be there. keprin, though, overlooking with the AR on the top. That is big for the side of cTc as they continue to claw their way back into this game.
Yeah, 21 and 13, tied for second with the most kills right now in the lobby. And honestly, you cannot understate how important that streak was by Ximothy, being able to push them out of that hard point and allow them to push up into a position that they could hold and try and attain some time from. And we're able to do so. Again, still not in the lead quite yet, but that score line of 183 and counting to 169, definitely a lot better than what we saw into P2 for the second rotation. So finding their stride a little bit here is cTc, command then conquer, as they're trying to conquer this hard point now and taking 10 straight seconds here off of this rotation.
And Hunter, you're happy if you're cTc here because you did your job.
Absolutely.
Last time, they were able to get 60 seconds essentially off of P3. This time, though, you break them in, you get the last bit of scrap time. Now you have your favored rotation. You held down P4 in its entirety the last time you were here. Pulsive tried their might to break in. They couldn't do it. Dire will pop for 3. And now all of a sudden, cTc is going to break past that 200-point mark. So what was a Pulsive lead by about 50 points now is in the hands of cTc. They control their destiny late in this game. Will they be able to hold on to the spawns? And, of course, the last 20 seconds of scrap because P5 all the way across the map. Look at where keprin is actually. I didn't even realize keprin had got out completely, and now the spawns are going to flip, and now Pulsive are going to have to break in once again.
Yeah, that was a humongous play. Absolute 400 IQ display there from keprin, as he's going to be able to rotate all the way back and playing the sort of sneaky beaver role here, trying to catch anybody off of a rotation as that hard point will now pop. And honestly, cTc in prime position to potentially finish off this game. Watch Evan on our screen trying to get up to this top boat area and see if he can flank one player. Going to see Dire off the spawn. That is 3 dead now for cTc. But honestly, Pulsive playing a little too lackadaisical here. They need to try and break in, as Ximothy really holding down this hill by himself.
And the problem there, right, is because you have Evan who's sitting on top of the ship, not wanting to push up. You think the spawns are still going to be coming from the left side, but unfortunately, that allows the reinforcement from cTc to get there. So now all of a sudden, you're in a situation where it's 5 seconds over. You got everybody across the map. You're not going to be able to get into the point. And just like that, what was a 50-point lead all of a sudden turns into a breakover on P3 that's never given up towards the end of that match. Pulsive completely falls apart, but cTc, well, command, and they conquer a win in map number 1.
They absolutely did. I mean, honestly, on the backs of Ximothy and I believe keprin playing absolutely out of their minds. I mean, Ximothy 23 and 16, 27 and 16 from keprin. Look at the 3 triple-digit assist numbers as well, 10, 11, and 10. So doing a great job not only calling out where their enemies are, but also where their teammates are. I spawned here, I'm looking this way, et cetera, et cetera. Those assist numbers are definitely indicative of how well you're playing together as a team, and you and I both know that hard points are dictated on team cohesion.
Well, team cohesion is also a huge factor when it comes to search and destroy, which we're heading to next. But again, I do want to go ahead and kind of harp on the fact that through I guess, the first 5 to 7 hard points in map number 1 there, we saw a combination of things from both teams. Number 1, it was the ability to get out early and find yourselves on rotations and then hold those rotations down. But at the same time, we also saw a good amount of team breaks from these teams as well. So when you pair both of those things together, obviously you're going to be looking good inside of a hard point all around. But not only did it show, at least through those first couple of hard points, how close these two teams are matched up against one another, at least on a map like Gavutsu. But what we might be able to see the rest of this series, now, of course, we saw, and I don't want to say a collapse out of the side of Pulsive, because that's not what it was. They just weren't able to find the kills, and that aggression that we saw them playing with early inside of the game kind of fell off late when cTc was able to get that upper hand. They got a little bit of a run, and then a momentum kind of just shut down everything Pulsive had. And I don't know if it was kind of a mental barrier, or maybe just everybody was kind of, I guess, scattering around the map, trying to do too much and be that hero that the team might have needed in certain situations. But either way, at the end of the day, that passive play, specifically from Evan on top of the ship, when you weren't able to commit that pinch play when there was only 2 people left on the point, that allowed cTc to get reinforcements back to the hard point. And then all of a sudden, you're looking at a game where now what was looking like a good break, which could have left you with a buffer of about 25 to maybe even 30 seconds for cTc to be able to win the game, that gap completely closed. You allowed them to continuously get the hard point time there, and then it was just too little too late when you were just trying to flood to the point.
Absolutely. I mean, I agree with you that I think the cohesion is definitely going to be equally as important in the S&D. I do think it's unfortunate that we saw Pulsive. I don't want to say fall apart at the seams there at the end, but it definitely wasn't their best showing when it came to the last two hard points, especially like you said, highlighting the fail to pinch around that final hard point. But I will say one thing that sticks out to me more than anything is, and I never want to call out a player for having a bad map because it happens to
Sure.
everybody. But who I want to see step up here in this S&D is Zorify from the side of Pulsive. About halfway through the second rotation, he or the halfway through the map rather. So as we approached into that second rotation, he still only had 9 kills on the board and was something like 9 and 20. So you're going to want to see him pick up that slaying numbers. And even if he's not picking up the slaying numbers, putting himself in a position to help his team pick up those slaying numbers and really, again, it's all about that cohesion. It's all about how well you're playing together. And I'd really like to see Zorify pop off a little bit here in this S&D and maybe get his mental state back in case he was a little upset about how that first map went.
Well, if you're just joining us here, welcome to K7 Season 4, folks. It is match number 1 of the entire season that will be streamed. However, there have been several other off-screen and off-stream matches that we are going to be seeing here throughout the day. I believe there's 4 in total today. This is just one of the 4, and again, 3 other ones are being playing off-stream. But at the same time, we didn't really have a chance when we were getting into the early portions of this because it lobbied up and everything while we had some of those technical issues. But the entire layout of the season for Season 4 is going to kind of follow as this. It's going to be split into 2 different stages. So in stage 1, each team is going to play each other twice. It's basically going to be a round robin thing within your own division. And then with stage 2, same kind of thing, but it's another chance for those round robins to happen. And everybody is going to be able to play the team that's in their division 2 times throughout the entire season. You get your cumulative record, and then of course the top 8 teams in the league go to playoffs, and then they'll do battle to find themselves as the champion inside of Season 4 of K7. But with that out of the way, we explained hardpoint in map number 1. We got to see a great clash of 2 teams that are trying to vie for their first win of the season. But now, of course, we go to a search and destroy on Bacage, where we know everything can be chaotic. Everything is chaotic at every single point, every single juncture. S&D, you can kind of slow that down just a bit, but if you're on offense, you want to get into a building quick. You want to get that push down pat immediately. And on the offensive side, it's going to be cTc to start things off. We'll see what the split is from the side of Pulsive. It looks like it's going to be 2-2 and 1 straight down middle map.
Yeah, I like this setup defensively from Pulsive, not getting too aggressive. We see sometimes, especially early on in the game, the defenses start to throw their lives away and play overly aggressive. I like this sort of passive play as cTc. Very methodical push over to A, but big kill in favor of Dire there, putting the numbers in advantage of cTc. And just like that, Dire takes 2. Zimothy takes 1 as Demonic will get a nade kill, but he is getting ready to get swarmed by the side of cTc. And they don't need to play too aggressively here. They have the bomb down. Just let him come to them as Demonic has taken a third and a second.
Oh,
well, not. Oh, yeah, won't matter. Okay, never mind. Okay, I thought he was going to get another one there, but good round from cTc there. A little nerve-wracking there as we thought Demonic might have pulled something, a trick out of the bag, if you will. But Dire saying no siree and taking 3 kills that round and putting them up on the board.
3 in a row here. 2 more. You're looking for the glide bomb. Be massive on a map like Bacage for search and destroy. Remember though, the changes to the glide bombs have been made, so unfortunately if you are wearing the flak jacket equivalent inside of this game, you won't necessarily get the full damage from a glide bomb, so you can quite literally eat a missile if it hits you directly, which is a crazy feeling for me and I'm sure a lot of other people. And as we go ahead and we see the settings here, thank you for going ahead and changing that though. That does actually help out a lot of people.
Beautiful.
Being able to see the map count at the top of the screen, as we did see beforehand, cTc, a map number 1 win, but another first blood here to the side of cTc. Viri on the board with the first kill. You look to the rest of the team now looking to push up the map. Pulsive, though, they're just kind of stuck inside of the barn looking to maybe find a pick, try to even equalize things at 3-3 in terms of the life count, but you're just trying to find map presence, and, well, guess what? The B site's left wide open because cTc all collapsed today.
Yeah, I see that, and now, again, still 4v3. Pulsive not really in the worst position with them flanking directly underneath the nose of Dire, but the bomb is going to try to be planted. Very nice heads up play by Dire to stop that plant. He had those Astros cranked to 1,000 as he heard him lay down, and attempt to put that bomb down. Woo, not going to check your corners, and kephren going to make him pay for it. Now, Evan last alive. He will drop cTc, picking them apart in these first 2 rounds.
And I must say, you know, in a 3 versus 4, you have the bomb wide open for yourselves. It definitely is possible, and it's very doable. When you get that bomb down, you restrict the opponent with the time.
Yep.
But the problem there is they just weren't watching the top of the bomb planter, and you let one person sneak through. The most important person there was the person getting the bomb down when you don't have numbers. Once that player is off the board, instantaneously, you're asking to lose that round, especially when you have no idea where any of the cTc players are except the player that just killed you. And they know you've already rotated to B, so they can just collapse upon you there. But last time on the offensive round, it was Dire who was able to find 2 first picks. 4 in a row now. 1 more for a glide bomb and potential streaks to go ahead and open the round up. But you've already gotten inside of the A building. You're going to be able to get this bomb down. Ximothy extremely aggressive. Evan doesn't want to push out just yet, but we will find the first blood. Second one goes to Evan. Evan looks for 2, but Zorify is there. No streaks on the board for cTc. 1 versus 4 here for kephren. The bomb is down, though, so you can play the time here. You've already got the first one. You slide in. Oh, hip fire shots were there. Tried to make some magic happen, but a great round there from Pulsive on the defensive side. We'll get them on the round here for the first time.
Yeah, honestly, that's unfortunate there for kephren. Is like you said, could have tried to play the bomb, but again, with 3 people alive on the opposite squad, not really having the best of positioning, really no way to know whether or not they're trying to hop and play the trade. So I understand the challenge. Unfortunately, the MP40 from Evan just too strong in on the bomb site. So solid counter round from Pulsive there. They are able to get a defense up on the board, and that's exactly what you need to get this train rolling, as they're going to be back on the offensive here and attempting potentially to take a second round to answer the 2 straight from cTc. The biggest kill there, though, regardless of taking the round in their favor, the biggest important piece there was stopping Dire from being able to get those streaks.
You show a bit of ability to find adjustments there on a defensive round. However, though, now it's a 1 versus 4 because Demonic is going to be the last one alive. Beautiful shots there from Dire. Once again, we'll go streaking here in round number 4. And, well, it's just like round number 1 all over again. Dire has been aggressive throughout the entirety of this series so far. Why stop that here in the search and destroy on a map like Bacage, where it allows you to take those, you know, different types of peak routes and little crevices that you can find, become a rat player and get behind the opponent. You're already looking at 7 and 1 here from Dire. 5 non-traded kills in the search and destroy is never the way to go. And you basically are looking at 2 kills per round with 3 first bloods in the game so far.
Yeah, he's absolutely putting on for this Command Then Conquer squad. Is honestly, I was just getting ready to say that this map is definitely a sort of fly by the seat of your pants vibe, as you can definitely fly all the way in and get 4 down in a very quick fashion, just like we saw. Demonic and Woo, though, going to take 2 of their own. Now, Dire and Ximothy, last 2 alive. If there are 2 players that I'd want from the cTc side to be last alive, it's probably Dire and Ximothy, though, as Ximothy love tapping Dire there, getting shot up through the window, or through the door rather, as now the bomb has been planted. 30 seconds left on it. It's a 2v3. Nice ears on Ximothy, as he will be able to turn on to Zorify. Dire last alive, gonna be able to pick up 1. No, the shots through the door, not gonna be able to get the kill. 20 seconds left. Dire very wisely playing his life.
Tries to run away, but won't be able to do so. Try to play the time. Unfortunately, won't be able to find the round. So defensive rounds for Pulsive have been the saving grace, albeit they come every time that the bomb has been planted. Crazy kill from Ximothy, though. I mean, I don't know how loud your headset has to be.
Right, dude, that's what I'm saying.
Staircase, but I mean, either way, at the same time,
it was cranked. He's using sonar, actually. He's using sonar, actually. He's not even using his ears. He's just like, and it's just
echolocation like a goddamn bat.
Literally. Holy cow.
Can
we talk about that, though?
Like, I mean, like, we could.
Well, 12 and 4 though from Dire and Ximothy together. I mean, that's a hell of a start.
It definitely helps.
It definitely helps. I mean, they 2 combined have more kills than the entire Pulsive squad right now.
You just simply can't let that happen. But scoreline only 3-2 though. So it's
weird.
Holding the defensive line, 2 players are gonna hop in towards the A bomb. Is gonna go down, but look at Dire has come through on a flank. The first nade's gonna weaken the second one up. You get 2 picks already. Demonic, though, you get a little thing that pops up on your screen. That's absolutely unfortunate. But Woo, 4 in a row, last one alive. You're looking to play for a streak here. You'll get the glide bomb. Now on a 1 versus 3. Makes things a 1 versus 2. You might have just spotted one who just jumps out. You spot him off the edge. Dire down below. Oh, Woo, you gotta hit your shot.
No!
You gotta hit your shot, Dire. Excuse me, buddy.
What are you doing?
That is
not like this.
Manslaughter.
Not like this. He had the drop on him and everything, and Dyer just too strong there. 10-2 is he. Absolutely paving the way for Command Then Conquer. And man, think about how much of a better position that puts him in if he wins that one-on-one there. Being able to drop back down. You had 15 seconds left on the bomb. Could have potentially clutched a 1v3, but unfortunately.
Excuse me, should have.
Yeah,
Did you see how many
agreed.
shots that dude just like
Agreed. Agreed. Agreed.
It's like, it's like,
Agreed.
do I be
Agreed.
polite here and just kill him from above when I have the power position in a 1 versus 3 when my team
were
can
warning
tie the game
shots.
up at 3-3 here? I think I'm just gonna shoot circles around him.
Oh, they were warning shots, dude. He was just letting him know he saw him. Oh,
We
nice
talk
nade.
about tracer rounds. We don't talk about tracing the outline of somebody's body. Evan takes the first 2 here in the round, 1 by way of nade, the second one with a headshot. 3 in the round here for Evan. Well, as well just feed the ace as well. But as Evan falls, I thought maybe, just maybe, we were going to be able to see yet another 1v odd situation that comes down to a 1 versus 1. However, though, Pulsive should be 4-3 right now, or at least an opportunity for it to be 4-3. However, it's going to be 3-4 and unlikely in their favor, as now we are looking on the offensive side to potentially find themselves, and I say this lightly, a 4-4 game here instead of the search and destroy. We talked about how close the first map was, at least at the beginning. Ended up decently close, but here in the search and destroy, what looked like it was going to be a cTc wiping, as Pulsive now back with an opportunity to tie up 4-4.
And again, honestly, Zorify with a 1-6 score line. Want to see him. I know he's been sort of the demolitions expert here as he's been carrying the bomb for this Pulsive squad, but you want to see him put himself in maybe some better positions over towards that bomb site, at least help trade off kills. As now for the first time since the first round, we will see the bomb get planted without a pick. So 4v4 still, 40 seconds left on that bomb. Evan not going to be able to get the drop on Dyer. Dyer peekabooing. Can somebody edit that and put the snake Brin noise as he pops up around the corner? Is just like that, trade's flying all over the place. Keprin will be the last one to get the kill onto Demonic, as it puts him at 4 and 5, and is now going to defuse the bomb. And yet again, another very low energy offense from the side of Pulsive, leading to a cTc round victory.
In the little lighthouse there, I feel like this is the conversation that we should be having when we talk about the sliding mechanic inside of Call of Duty. Dyer comes around the corner, slides completely out of the way, and then camera angles the player inside
Fast
there.
as hell.
And then just is like, oh,
dude.
you're not even going to stand a chance in this gunfight. We're going to kill you, and we're just going to take the round back as we go ahead and retake the site. So, Bomb working back over towards A. You got 3 players split over towards the site as well. I love the adjustment here for Pulsive not to go 2-2 because they know how aggressive cTc has been over towards this A site. Demonic will back off, maybe running up the staircase. Woo with the first blood there on the Keprin. Timothy trades out in a technical way and goes ahead and feasts himself for a second in a row. Now here comes Dyer to help out with the party. Viri still alive, 2 versus 3. If there's any 2 players you want alive, doing it for Pulsive, it'd be Evan and Woo. The real question is, can you save your search and destroy?
Comes down to this. Winner go home, theoretically, into a third map. That bomb going to be planted over at B. I believe that was Dyer putting the bomb down now. And again, I like the very passive play from Pulsive here. 35 seconds left and going to be able to attain 1 as they avoid the streak oh so narrowly. As again, now they're getting a little bit trapped in this barn area. Going to want to see them try and push out and trade. As Zimothy making a big flank here over towards the bomb, and Woo, oh my god, they may be able to slip right into the B site without being seen.
Get information. You're trying to get back onto the site, but they're playing so desperately spread across the map. Fury's going to get the shots on the 1, but the second one's going to be there now. It's just down in a 1 versus 2. You can't get it done. Woo tried it. They equalized things out of 2 versus 2. But unfortunately, again, as we said beforehand, we talk about it all the time, too little, too late. You don't push fast enough. The information actually was a hindrance that time in that round from the glide bomb because you knew that Zimotry was playing around through your spawn. So while you were trying to clear out that player, they were able to escape back through the tunnel, back towards the B site. 21 kills combined from Dyer and Zimothy, again, totaling more than the entirety of kills than the side that Pulsive was able to have in the search and destroy. So 2 players essentially carry the workload. You go up 2-0 inside of the series. And unfortunately, guys, I know we said that this is the only match here on stream today, but we're already looking at what could be a 3-0. Decently close maps so far, but I hate to say this and kind of go back on my word beforehand about not being able to trust the K7 staff. So far, the power rankings seem to be right. 8/11 was the correct choice. cTc, pending reverse sweep happening from the side of Pulsive NA, should be able to close this series out in map number 3. We'll see what happens, though, but we are going to be going to a Tuscan for map number 3. And of course, if we need to go the distance, we'll see a Bacage hardpoint followed with a Tuscan search and destroy. But Hunter, kind of gauging everything that we've seen so far between map number 1 and 2, going into map number 3 with a Tuscan, how are we feeling in terms of overall team comp for both of these teams, and who do we think is going to be a favorable team here on this map?
Well, I mean, if you ask me, I think the easy answer is cTc is definitely the favorite here, especially not only with them taking that S&D and riding momentum into map number 3, but also taking that first hard point. But you highlighted something that I think is extremely important, and that the maps honestly were pretty close. I mean, that S&D was a 6-3, but we had 2 rounds that went down to what should have been a round win for Pulsive and a potential 1v3 clutch, and another 1v1 by the bomb site that just unfortunately couldn't get finished out for the side of Pulsive. So we had 2 rounds that were extremely close. So just like that could have been a 5-5 that we were looking at, or a 4-5, as opposed to a 6-3 loss for the side of Pulsive. Plus, if we take a look at how the first half of that hard point went during map number 1, we saw that both teams are very capable at trading and breaking holds. I think really the biggest thing is now is if you're Pulsive, it's time to put your foot on the gas, play together, and ensure that A, you're winning those early rotations and stopping those entry kills from cTc, and B, ensuring that you can set up and attain map control, especially on a map like Tuscan, where that map control is oh so pivotal for those rotations.
So I have 2 problems, right? The first problem here for a Pulsive comeback would be the fact that we go to a Tuscan map, which is going to be playing a lot more close quarters than we saw on Gavutu. And I think from just watching maps number 1 and 2, I think cTc is more able to thrive in the chaos than we've seen from Pulsive. I think Pulsive likes a more passive play style. I think they like to cover their angles and make sure that they're able to at least have the ability to push up as a team in towards a point. And I think a map like Berlin would probably suit them a little bit better. That'd probably be a favorable map for them at least. But when we look to a map like Tuscan, I think the aggression from Dire, I think the aggression from Zimothy is going to not only outpower Pulsive, but be able to control the map in its entirety. So if you look to this out of Pulsive, sure, we've had some key moments from a few different players, but it hasn't been enough to give me that shining light saying, okay, I'm not only confident to take this map number 3, but then go to a Bacage hardpoint for map number 4 and be able to thrive in that type of chaos. So even if they are able to win this, I still foresee it being a cTc win in 4, if not 3, in a clean sweep.
Well, we're about to find out. Again, I see the settings. Beautiful. Let's give that second map win. Just kidding. It is 2-0 now in favor of cTc, as it is, again, very early lead. But just like the first time, at the beginning of map number 1, we see all cTc, all zeros across the board on the kill feed. Zimothy going to be the first one to pick up a kill. Viri not far behind, as Pulsive doubling the score. But again, we're seeing the slaying numbers, but no real map control. They were only able to put up 15 seconds on that hard point, despite getting, let's see, 6, 10, 11 almost consecutive kills.
5-1 here from Demonic. You start to push back up and towards the church. So far, I've been completely wrong about this match, but fortunately enough here for, oh my god, if we would have snapped on the Kepler in there, I would have had to step away from my setup, do some things
like scream and yell.
They're a little unholy in the eyes of the Lord.
Scream and shout and let it all out.
Screaming and something that rhymes with that and starts with a C and ends with a reaming.
Screaming without the S. Good Lord, Corn.
God,
what are you
guys,
doing?
We're back if you didn't know. It's me and Shifty again.
It's K7, baby! It's season 4! As again, though, let's take a look. Pulsive 37-21 now, really manhandling Dire and co over on the Command and Conquer side, really on the backs of Demonic and Woo. 17 kills combined between the both of them. But what I find to be the most interesting point is there is a such thing as getting pointless kills, and right now we're seeing that, I think, a little bit from Pulsive. Yes, they've attained P3 rotations and they have solid map control, but when you are outslaying by this much, the score should not be this close.
Shouldn't be this close, but cTc has done a good job of being able to either get scrap time or find a nice bit of time on rotations. They're very going to be looking to be the first one out. Demonic and Woo will go ahead and find a couple of kills on their own, doubles for both players, and they are going to be able to hold down onto P3 for now. 20-point game here between both of these two teams, continuously slaying out around the map. kepren will be the first one up. The rest now will follow through. Reinforcements are there, but will it be enough to go ahead and contest here? Do you want to push up, grab this last bit of time, or do you want to be on the rotation over towards point number 4? Right now, it looks like the answer is just going for the rotations and allowing the set of Pulsive to get the scrap time. If you're cTc, you're confident right now everybody will be able to find themselves a bit further inside of this game, but you're holding down the church right now. You have 3 players there. Nobody from Pulsive is even across the map. Sure, I get you want to rotate through the P5 area and maybe have a fighting chance to go down towards the bottom of the church, but you're giving a free 10, 15, maybe even 20 seconds of time to cTc right now, not being able to find these initial kills. At least I thought so, because Dire should have been able to find a trade there, but we will poop on him once again.
Yeah, Woo definitely taking matters into his own hands there for Pulsive. Unfortunately, still a 30-point deficit for the side of cTc is 89 to 55 and counting. 40 seconds left in this P4. Dire going to catch a direct impact kill through the wall onto Zorify, who yet again, this time 6 and 7, so playing a little bit better here, but Veery really strutting his stuff on a 6-kill streak. He's got the glide bomb and is looking for more. He's looking over this head glitch, and now 20 seconds almost consecutively. Now more going in favor of cTc. And you're completely right, Alex. What did you say? I understand wanting to push through P5, but you're going to give cTc all of this free time. And just like that, they've taken the lead back.
Look, I expected them to give free time. I didn't expect them to give basically 45, almost 50 seconds up. Oh, that is so unfortunate there. That was a jump up, and he mantled and got above the player. So Zorify comes away with a gunfight on a kill that should have potentially went to the side of cTc. That will give Pulsive the way of the hill initially. But as the trades come through, kepren will find 2. Dire is there for 1, and just like that, unfortunately, but soundly, Pulsive on a rotation will fall short again. cTc will rotate early. As the slaying numbers were in the favor of Pulsive early on in the game, you got to keep your foot on gas throughout the entirety of the hard point. Unfortunately, right now, cTc have done a great job of finding their way back into this game, much like we saw on Gavutu in map 1.
Yeah, no kidding. Almost a mirror match, if you will. I mean, through the first 5 hard points, the score was very similar to this in map 1. A Pulsive slight lead as cTc going to surmount that here and then some, as 113 to 112 as P1 getting ready to pop again. This full set of rotations going to be in brand new blank slate. And cTc going to take the initial time here is on the back of 2-piece from Zimothy and 2-piece from Dire respectively, as they are going all out here for the side of cTc.
4 in a row, you come through the back door. Unholy things have happened in this church here on Tuscan. And cTc will look back to point number 1. Demonic jump shots around the left side corner. kepren in middle map. You look to go ahead and find a few trades, but laying down is going to be Woo. Cuts off the players that are pushing from middle map, so the pinch isn't able to be had. Zimothy, though, over the top. Beautiful headshot. Zorify will once again get pooped on by the hands of kepren. Evan inside of the point, so hell, even though cTc have been slaying out and been able to lead the charge back towards the point, fortunately enough for Pulsive, you haven't given up any time at all here. You should be able to find yourselves the scraps. But you remember back to cTc, the first time we saw point number 2, they held down pretty much the majority of it, and unfortunately, Pulsive just was not able to break in. Yeah, they went back and they were able to get P3, but it was cTc on 4 and 5 that were able to find their way not only back in this game, but give them a slight lead. If you're Pulsive right here, you don't have that buffer room anymore. You're a little scared, knowing that cTc, they've turned it up a bit, but hell, we'll see what happens.
Demonic definitely not scared, though, sliding into the DMs of that player from cTc and putting his 22nd kill on the board. As he's also got a minute and a quarter in the hard point, definitely really putting the team on his back, so to speak, for the side of Pulsive. Now a 10-point deficit, make it 11, as this hard point is now halfway through. Got Veery on your screen. He just clutched up in the 20 kill category. 20 and 13 is he. Trades flying all over the place, but honestly, unfortunately, a lot of these kills are falling outside of the hard point. I mean, we've really only seen Pulsive take about 15 now, 20 seconds on this hard point and 10 seconds left, as we will again begin to rotate over. Honestly, though, if you're Pulsive, you're happy with that performance. You didn't get a whole lot of time, but neither did cTc.
4 in a row here for Evan. You've extended your lead back to about 30 points. Unfortunately, though, gap closing. Last time, Pulsive was able to hold down P3. This time, though, cTc have different plans. You look through the front here. Evan now trying to flank behind one who's up in towards the top of the middle map building, but you run down the staircase, you were spotted out from behind. You'll fly up, trying to go ahead, slide into the corner. Glide bomb to work with. I'd love to see it used here to break in towards this point. This is a ton of great time to get here on P3, but you actually don't even need to invest the streak, because all the way in the back is Viri, though. Viri will find the first. Woo slides around the corner. The challenge is there. You still spawn close if you're the side of cTc. As you're all the way in the back, Dyer's going to be the first one to challenge. Pistol shots are going to be, their kill's going to come through. You're all the way in the back of the map. You got to fight through fire and hell to get back towards the point. Good news, there's a fountain on the other side if you can dip your toes inside of it. Unfortunately, though, you won't be able to. Scrap time to cTc. Pulsive rotated across the map. We've essentially flipped now as cTc will take the lead for the first time in the game.
Yeah, Viri really sticking his whole arm in that fountain there, taking 2 straight, as he is now 5 kills away from the 30 bomb mark. Is really and truly, those upper 20, low 30 kill games are honestly really, really solid in this game, especially in a hard point. I mean, you are really, really taking the opponents off of the map for a long period of time, as 3 will go down for the side of Pulsive. Big entry set of kills for cTc, is now Dyer watching this front door. Gonna have 2 slide in, will take out Zorify, but will get traded from the side of Demonic. But again, sort of playing patty cake here around the front of the hard point is Pulsive. I mean, they can break in for this time, but honestly, is it worth chalking it and rotating? They opt for no and get a full team wipe from it.
No, these are the moments that will change hard points completely. Because a map like Tuscan, we always talk about how close these maps can go all the way down to the end. 0.5, 0.1, those rotations, always so crucial. But we'll get the first team to cross the 200-point mark. 4 points separate these teams as we're back into HQ. 2:40 on the game clock. Won't matter in terms of time as we count this game down. Dead even, 55 seconds left. Demonic down below, 4 in a row. On the side of cTc, you're up top. How long will it last for, though? Reinforcements are here. It's a 3 versus 2 on the point.
Yeah, this is a really patient play by Demonic. Very nice job and a great break from Pulsive. You saw them split off 2 and 2, taking the stairs and the high road and able to crush down onto those cTc forces inside the hard point. Dyer having something to say about it, as well as Zimothy, as 2 big kills go back in favor of cTc. Sloppy shots will be able to pick up the kill onto Evan, but again, it's all for naught as Demonic rotating back into that hard point and taking that time. And again, we see a very, very even split across the board. cTc going to take the lead ever so slightly here with this scrap time, but that gives Pulsive full reign to rotate over. We're hearing the streak come in. All for naught. Again, wasted utilization of these streaks, and Evan going huge inside of P1. That is another full team wipe. Pulsive looking great here in the back half of this hard point.
The spot where legends are made. 25 seconds for each team to be able to take map number 3. For cTc, a chance to close out. For Pulsive, a chance to force map number 4. 4 kills in the kill feed. It's all orange right now as they continue to tick closer towards the 250-point mark. Here comes another streak invested. One's gonna fall, or I thought they would. Zorify with a nade. Woo over the top. A headshot in the way of Automaton. You now push the point. Here comes Evan. Oh, it's gonna be 2 players on the point. Now a huge 1v1 potentially for the game. Demonic comes through from behind. You pop over back. Demonic, a huge 2-piece. cTc, they can win off this point. Pulsive, they can win here if no contestation comes through from cTc. They push out from the church. They push out to middle map. And as 3 players look all towards the point, Demonic will once again find another big kill. Viri, you've got to fly. 5 seconds left here for the side of Pulsive. You can test the point for just a second, but will it be enough? cTc can't win off this point. Pulsive can't win off the point. Now you got to think about the rotation, and guess who's there? It's the lone player of Keprin. 4 seconds left is all they need. Nobody's going to be close enough to pick it. cTc, a 3-0 sweep that comes with another close game in a Tuscan hardpoint that goes all the way down to the wire once again. I said beforehand, the 3rd set of rotations is going to be where you win it. On it, legends were made there, and guess what? It wasn't Timothy. It wasn't Dyer here on this map that went big. It was Viri, and it was the rest of the team here with Keprin that gives cTc a crazy win. 21 untraded kills on Keprin. You look down to Demonic. Slang was there for the side of Pulsive, but guess what, Shifty? Another game where Pulsive NA break down at the end. And albeit it was a lot closer that time, we just got to say GG's.
I mean, it was definitely a GG. Honestly, I am shook by not only the heads-up play by Keprin to rotate. I mean, we saw all 7 of the other players hauling towards that first hard point in the third rotation, and unfortunately just not enough time to win it there. And it was so close by the skin of their teeth. I thought we were going to see a Pulsive win. I thought they were going to squeak it out. We saw them completely retake that hard point with about 15 seconds left. They had the world at their fingertips, but two big plays. We saw Zimothy slide in, was able to contest for just long enough and allow his teammates to come in and get some trades, while Keprin doing the sneaky man work. The route man gets paid, and he definitely got paid with a win there. 3-0 sweep for the side of cTc.
I mean, not only do you get paid for being able to rotate early and, you know, just hope that it goes down to the end, but the trust that you have to have in your teammates there to be able to win those engagements, to be able to win those huge, crucial gunfights, because you know from Pulsive side of, or in their point of view, they're saying, hey, we're sending everybody here. We're flooding this hill because we want to win off of this point, and we still can win off of this point. Problem is a couple of gunfights don't go their way. Big two pieces, a couple of big kills from the side of cTc. All of a sudden, you've broken inside. You've contested it long enough to make sure that Pulsive can't win off that hard point. And then we're seeing, okay, where's everybody from the side of Pulsive at? Well, again, as I said beforehand, they were trying to play that hill. They were trying to make sure they win off of point one. That was their win condition. They didn't give a damn about the rotation, and it was evident because Keprin was able to get out, finds himself literally all by himself, and by the time the rotations came through, when it was the spawn up from two players that had died on the side of Pulsive, it was just simply too late. 250 to 246 is what we see there. But hell, I mean, we started there on map number 1. It was a Gavutu map that was 250 to 187 for the way of cTc. The second map, a 6-3 search and destroy win. And of course, we finish it out with a 4-point hard point there. But again, 8th ranked in terms of the preseason power rankings for the side of cTc Gold. That's a great way to start your season off against a team that should be relatively even up against you. My biggest question, though, going forward is going to be, how is this hard point going to convey against some of the top teams? And of course, is their S&D, which looked so strong against the side of Pulsive, going to just kind of fall into the hands of two players having big games, or are they going to be able to continue that consistency against other top teams?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that's going to be the tail of the tape, if you will, is going to be, as this season progresses, is cTc going to be able to keep up that sort of momentum and that sort of rigorous play that we saw? Like you said, they seem to thrive through the chaos, and if that's the case, then who knows? Maybe they'll start at number 8 in the power rankings, and here by week 3, week 4, we'll see them hovering up in that top 6, top 4 area. It's definitely possible, especially with some playmakers that we saw over on Command and Conquer. It was definitely a GG's all around, and cTc is looking nice. I will say one thing that I really love, though, I think the unsung sort of hero of that last play was how much trust Keprin, like you said, put in his teammates to make those plays around P1. We see that all the time at the amateur level, at this sort of top am and semi-pro level. We see a lot of people just sort of run headlong into the hard point and attempt to try and finish it off. But Keprin, huge play of the night. That's the play of the night for me, is that rotation and trusting his teammates to make those plays over at P1. And wow, what a first night it was to be back. It's great to be back with K7 here for season number 4. I honestly hate that we didn't get a longer series, but at least the 3 games we got were entertaining.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm kind of glad that you brought up that trust factor again, because I was going to actually make a quick point of that before we got out of here. But you kind of hit everything that I wanted to. Going forward, trust is going to be the biggest thing for teams to continuously grow. And if you want to beat those top teams, obviously putting in the work and getting the practice together is going to be huge. But then having that trust already being there when you might not even be at your peak form yet, that's just another step in the right direction. So cTc Gold start off their season 1-0 for the set of Pulsive NA. Unfortunately, you fall 0-1. It was a close series, and although it was a 3-0 sweep on your hands, of course, you can get back up, wipe the dust off, and of course, then take out the brooms for yourself and be able to take your next series. Either way, though, I do want to say a big thank you to the partners that make this possible here at K7. Get Good Hosts, Innovative Gear, Glitch Energy, and of course, Killer Jerky. All 4 of those companies are absolutely instrumental in why we're not only able to continuously provide you matches and, of course, streams for K7, but what make this league possible in totality. I want to say thank you to everybody on the production side, in terms of Tricks, myself included with that, and obviously Hunter, Pendygraph, Shifty here with me. It's been a great broadcast here. We're going to be back again tomorrow with more K7 action, but for the time being, that's going to do it for us tonight. You guys take care, stay safe, and we'll see you back tomorrow for more K7 Season 4 action.
They pull off the upset somehow, some way, complete the greatest comeback on checkmate. The Kaiser now down to a 1v1. Drew! Oh! They're going for the knife. They're going are going to be crowned your champions of the K7 League.